Yonkers Voice people, here we are in a very interesting interview doing a follow-up of what happened here at the Yonkers Public School that involved the story that got the national interest. A story that was published by the New York Post on April, was it April? April 18, 2024. Guys, as I always say, not everything is what it seems to be. On that video, it appears to show a student who was bullied. It turns out, at least according to some people, that she was not actually the victim of bullying. She was possibly the bully. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yes.
So, mom, grandmother, and mother are going to tell us a little bit more about what happened that day, what happened before that day involving the same child, and what happened after that day involving the same child, the alleged victim. Introduce yourself and tell us what happened.
I'm Christina, and I am the mom of the child.
Christina, speak a little louder so we make sure that everyone can hear us.
I'm Christina, and I'm the mom of the child that was bullied by the other child prior to the incident.
Now, that thing happened that day. Was that the first incident that involved your daughter and the other child, or had something had happened before?
That was not the first incident. This child had bullied my daughters from the month of December all the way to April prior to this incident.
You knew about it?
Yes.
Did you do anything about it?
Yes, I contacted the school, spoke to assistant principal, spoke to the teacher. I have text messages proving that I did reach out to them each and every time my child told me she was getting bullied by this child.
So you took measurements actually to find a solution by writing, contacting, calling.
Yes.
What was the answer? Because the school, I have interviewed the prior superintendent, Dr. Casada, and he told me that he takes issues of bullying very serious. And I'm sure that the current superintendent would feel the same. But when it comes down to it, do they take it very serious? How do you feel?
No, they do not take it very serious because I spoke to the assistant principal multiple times. I texted the teacher multiple times asking to resolve this issue. I even asked to sit down and speak with the parent so that we can resolve this issue prior. And what I was told, that is not something that we do. The day of the incident, I did reach out to the superintendent and I have yet to receive an email or response back from him.
Christina, what do you mean by that's not something that we do? Don't
They
mean
do
like
not
address the issue?
They do not put parents together, but they always said they would address the issue, they would talk to the students, but nothing was ever resolved from talking with the students.
So now let me make it clear that perhaps 2 weeks ago, I reached out to the Yonkers Public Schools administration. I sent a text asking for a callback to notify them about this interview and to see if they had anything that they want to say. But unfortunately, I did not get a call back from the Yonkers Public Schools, the communication director. What else? Anything else you want to add to that?
Yes, prior to this incident, the day before, that child and 4 of her other friends was waiting for my child in the staircase along with another friend of hers to jump her. The security guard was made aware of it, the school aide was made aware of it, and the assistant principal was made aware of it, and I did not get a call from anyone until my daughter got home that day to let me know what was happening. And,
No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And from what I was told, there is cameras in their staircase, and when my child was walking down the steps with her aide, those children were there waiting for her.
Now, parents, if you are watching, if you have any experiences in regards to this subject, bullying in general, if you want to share your story, please comment on the comment below. Now, the day of the incident, we can see you there. We can see you raising your hands. Were you trying to hit the child? What was that about? Because I can see your hands up, okay? and it appears on a second of the video that maybe you were making a motion to slap, strike. Is that what happened?
At no point I hit this child. And that video, when I do raise my hand, it's because the child threw a phone at me. I was blocking the phone from hitting me. But at no point I hit this child.
What do you think is the reason why nothing is happening?
Because of who she knows in Yonkers.
Who does she know?
The senator, which I have reached out to them multiple times
Which
via
senator?
email. Andrea Stewart cousin. I reached out to the mayor, Mayor Spano. I've emailed them, no response. I've reached out to the counselor, no response. I have
But
emails.
let's give me names.
Okay.
Okay. So you reached out to Mayor Mike Spano. You reached out to the counselor, meaning council person, right?
Yes, I have the emails. I don't know everybody else's name, but the two main ones that I've reached out to multiple times was Andrea Stewart Cousins, Mayor Spano, no response. I posted something on social media with asking for help. Mayor Spano did see it, no response.
Now you were charged, correct?
Yes.
You were charged with what? Do you remember the charges? Was it assault? Was it?
I'm not quite sure.
But you are currently being prosecuted.
No. I don't want to answer that question.
You don't want to touch on that subject.
No.
Christina, right? No. I know you for many years, but now you're. No, I'm not getting any younger.
I'm Val.
Val, how do you connect to this?
We don't have a connection except for a bully who is interfering with both of our daughters' lives.
Involving the same child, or is this a different case?
Exact same children.
So you mean the alleged victim on this case? Are you saying that the alleged victim is actually the bully of your daughter?
Correct.
Tell us about that story.
So we have no interaction. My daughter does not go to school with these children. They don't have any friends in common. And they decided to look my daughter up and make her the victim and come after her. I tried to ask the Yonkers police for help. I filed a report because they stated that they were going to kill my daughter when they got her. And being that there's so much bad things going on and so many young victims being stabbed, I take matters like that very serious. That's a very serious accusation to tell someone you want to take their lives. The problem continues. These girls are continuing. It restarted all over again. And my daughter deleted everything. She doesn't have much social media, but she got rid of any connection or any possible way. After 20 days, they refound her, remade internet pages, and continued. And now they're asking my daughter if she would like to commit suicide.
What?
Yes.
So, does a child needs to commit suicide for our city to bring this up and address the issue? Are you suggesting that they went hunting for your daughter?
Correct.
Any particular reason that you think? I'm not trying to justify, I'm just trying to find logic. Why will a child go hunting for another child on social media just to make her life or his life miserable?
From my understandings, after trying to do some research and figure out who these children are, this is what they do. They go around terrorizing children who they feel that have victims, I'm trying to put the correct word, that may have a disability or anything that would make them a weakness so that they can target. Because my daughter has a heart condition, they target her, and that's what they talk about on social media is my daughter's heart condition.
And look, I have to play both sides in the sense of I cannot take your word for it as with everything you're saying. I have to put this in perspective, say, okay, you saying that, you the mom. But one thing is saying, another thing is showing evidence of what you're saying. Do you have any evidence of what you're saying? Did you show it to the police department?
Yes, I did.
Did you articulate your concerns? Did you ask them to please take a look at this before it's too late for your daughter? And when I say your daughter, I don't specifically talk about your daughter. I'm talking about any child.
Correct.
Did you? Do you
Yes.
have evidence?
Yes, I do.
What type of evidence do you have?
I have the most recent that just came in on Saturday was the message of her asking my daughter if she would like to kill herself.
Who is this? Who is this child? Is she a daughter of somebody important here in Yonkers that feels that they can do whatever they want and no consequences will be coming down to her? Who is this person? You don't need to say her name, but you can say her mother's name so people will understand who this person is and why nothing is being done about it. Anyone wants to?
Her name is Alina Merritt.
Elena?
Alina Merritt, which she is a part of Yonkers City Council. She's
Yonkers City Council?
Yes.
No, I never heard that name in the Yonkers City Council. She's not a council person.
No. I have the proof of what she is a part of.
Well, she might be a part of something, but not the council.
The Community Planning Council of Yonkers.
The community, say it loud so they.
The Community Planning Council of Yonkers. And her name is Alina Merritt.
Alina Merritt. Now again, guys, let me make it clear that Yonkers Voice is not saying that whatever it's alleged here, it's actually happening. All that Yonkers Voice does is provide a platform, okay, for Yonkers residents to come forward and talk about the issues that are of concern to them. And I think that situations like this are extremely concerning, especially for Val, where they are suggesting that her daughter should end her life. That is completely wrong. That is unacceptable. And it's also unacceptable that our law enforcement, school district, school officials have been notified of that and they failed to do anything. Do something. Don't wait for something to happen, then call for press conferences to talk about something tragic that happened. It's your job, it's your responsibility to address the issues before the issue actually happened. This is not the first time that I hear that parents have been concerned with bullying in the school system and not much is done. This is not the first time. We can play that it is, but the reality it's not. Okay? Reality is every time that we address with a school official, they tell us how serious they take things like this.
They do not.
But when it comes down to it, we don't see much being done. And since the day that it happened with your daughter, is she back at school?
No, my daughter has not been in school. The last 2 months she missed out of school.
2 months before school ended.
2 months before school ended, it took me about a month before I could get her homeschooling. Meanwhile, the other child, within a week, was offered homeschool, a transfer to a private school, and I am still yet waiting 4 months later to get my child into another school, and she's still not in the school.
Do you have anything to tell the New York Post? Because I remember sooner after the incident happened, I received a press release from your family, which we released the complete press release without editing anything. Did you also send that press release to other media? Because I looked for it and I didn't see it.
Yes, I did. I did send it to every media that tried to contact me. Nobody put anything up. But then again, yes, they were going to my house when this was, they wanted me to interview them, to have an interview with them, but nothing was done. Nothing
but yet Channel 7 News released my daughter's face on the news, which I have proof that they released her face, what school she goes to, and because of that, I had to remove my child from the school. And I have yet to get an apology or anything, and so for the safety of my child, I removed her from that situation.
And we removed it from the school.
I removed her from the school.
Are you afraid of retaliations? Not necessarily from the school district, that's not what I mean, but I'm talking about from her friends, from people on the street. Are they harassing you in
Yes.
any way, shape, or form?
I can say, yes, we were followed by her, where she parked up right next to my mom's car, excuse the way I'm talking, and she pulled her window down, started recording us, and started harassing us. And I do feel like, yes, we are being harassed because we're not getting a fair hearing when it comes down to this situation where nobody wants to listen to us. Nobody wants to see what's going on. As, for instance, an ACS case was opened against me. False allegations, and nobody wants to close the case. Why? Is it because of someone maybe she knows in there? I don't know. This is why I feel like I am getting harassed.
People are watching this, and there is somebody here that makes a suggestion to you guys. Contact News 12. I know that Yonkers Voice is here to give you the platform. And somebody says, contact News 12. I guess they see News 12 as a major outlet, even though they knew, but they didn't address the issue. Have you tried to contact News 12?
We've tried contacting every media, the same ones that contacted us, but at that point, because of legal reasons, my attorney advised me not to do live interviews.
But you're here live.
Yes, because at this point, we haven't gotten anywhere because of the fact of the people she knows. She knows people in the court system. She knows people everywhere. So I'm not getting a fair trial at all. I'm not getting a fair trial at all because I'm being accused of something I did not do. If they have evidence, so-called evidence, I yet haven't
Have yet to see.
see. So, okay, so I feel the court system is failing me. I feel the city of Yonkers is failing me because the city of Yonkers is who you know. It's not what you do, what you say, it's who you know. And unfortunately, I came from the Bronx to give my family a better living here in Yonkers. And this has been a nightmare for us. This has been a total nightmare. And it's not fair because I'm not getting treated fairly. I feel that whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty. In this case, I'm guilty until proven innocent. Because of why? Because of the people she knows. She knows judges. She knows people in the inside. Because the day that I turned myself in with my lawyer, the media wanted to be there. How did they get that so fast? I personally feel, and I stand to it, there is a leak in the court system.
Well, no, I have to step in and say, not necessarily. I'm part of the media, and very often I'm there as things are happening. And believe me, I have no connection with judges. I have no connection with the police department. But we have ways to find out what's happening. And your story was a big story that got national attention. So it was not difficult. But does not imply that, I'm not saying there isn't, okay? But not always necessary. Now, Val, I gotta ask you, because you're part of this story, and not necessarily her story, but part of the bigger story. How is your daughter handling? When you talk to her, how is she reacting? Is she asking? Is she upset? Is she stressed? Is she going to some type of therapy to teach her or help her deal with the situation? What is going on with her at home?
At the current moment, she is frustrated. She is going through a lot. These children have leaked her picture all over their social media, so now there's a whole viewing of her. Everyone knows who she is, and she doesn't know who anyone is, so she feels that at any moment she can be attacked by anyone because of what these young ladies are doing, and It's just not acceptable at this point. This is just beyond. You shouldn't, as a parent, my defense here is to make sure that her well-being and her mental health are my priority as her mother, and to make sure that she's okay. And any mother would defend their child to make sure that they're okay. And at this moment, my daughter is not okay, and the situation is not acceptable.
Now, I hear that, at least the two here have reached out to Senator Andrea Stewart Cousin. Now, did you also reach out to her?
No, I'm going to be reaching out to Mike Spano, Trisha Diaz, and I made my letter ready to reach out to Channel 12 News as well. So like that, we can try to get this off. I went, like I said, I asked for the 4th precinct to help me. They said they were going to send it over to the youth division. The youth division has not responded. I've called.
When was this? When was the last time you contacted the youth division, the Yonkers Police Department? Because if you contacted them yesterday, you got to give them time.
The last time I did a checkup, because the first report was back in June 26th, and then now this report, the second report, went in on the 25th.
Has anyone contacted the Westchester County legislator to see if there is, laws, which I believe there is, bully laws, to address these specific issues? And if there is no laws, then you should demand, then they should submit a bill to pass a law. Because we need more than just talk about it after the fact.
Yes, bullying takes a very big mental health on our children, because as her daughter is frustrated, my daughter is she's in therapy right now, has cried multiple days for 2 or 3 hours, wondering why she's going through a situation, or wondering why the whole family's going through it, and it takes a mental health, physical, financially, drainage on everybody. And it's not only about the bullying, and it's about our kids' mental health. And if a lot of these kids don't have a family behind them to support them, but our children do. So this is something that bullying should be taken very seriously. It takes a toll not only on the children, but on the family also.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
It's terrible. And one of the sad things to me, or one of the very upsetting things, is we always hear about bullying, not just in Yonkers. This is not a specific thing to Yonkers. Happens
everywhere.
in the entire United States, all over the world. But the sad thing is sometimes we have the signals. We can see the marks, and we fail to act on it until something tragic happens. Then we all come out with the news releases, press conferences to talk about that. Those things say it's not acceptable. We cannot allow this to happen. Where were you before it happened? Because you knew about it.
Yep.
You knew this was about to happen. You knew about the potential for something like this to happen. But you didn't do nothing about it.
And where is her mom in all of this? When your child, you know what your child is doing, you're made aware, but instead you're prizing her and tapping her on the shoulder, telling her it's okay, and it's not fair.
Anyone in her family, because look, none of us are perfect. Okay, none of us are perfect, and all of our kids make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. But the fact that you have a son or a daughter that make a mistake does not mean that you don't realize that your child made a mistake. You can still be next to your child, support her, but we need to say, listen, child, don't do that anymore.
Yes.
What I mean is, anyone ever reached out to you, a family, a mother, say, listen, I apologize for the things that I'm going through. I'm talking to my daughter.
But instead the bullying continues with our situation happening in April. This is now June. And there's more children out there getting bullied, and no one wants to come forward.
By the same child.
By the same child.
By the same
By
child.
the same child.
Yes.
She multiple.
Now, this child, her mother, besides being on that board, what does she do for a living? What
She's
nature?
an executive director to a daycare.
To a what?
To a daycare.
Daycare?
Director.
Yes.
Yes.
Which daycare is this? In Yonkers?
Yes.
An executive director of a child daycare where they put down the foundations for the education of children.
Yes.
For the children of the future.
For the bullies of the future, is
So
that?
for the children of the future, she's supposed to be helping our future children.
That's a little crazy, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
It's a little ironical, actually, that she's the director of a daycare that responsibility is to educate the children of the future.
But yeah.
How did she educate her daughter?
That's a question for her to answer.
Yes. It is. Because you're not educating your daughter. That's how I see it.
And we're not only here speaking out for their girls, we're also speaking out for every child that is getting bullied out there. This is worldwide. There's so many kids out there getting bullied. So we want to fight not only for our girls, we also want to fight for those kids that are getting bullied. Like I said, like she said, our girls, they got a great support system. We seek help when we saw, the changes and the crying and it's my fault. We seek help for my granddaughter. She seeks help for her daughter. Her daughter has a heart condition. My granddaughter has neurological problems. So here we go, So our concern is not, oh no, we wanted our sides to be told because we wanted, we haven't gotten enough for child. But on top of that, I feel we're not fighting only for us. We're fighting for every child out there that's getting bullied. So if there's any parents out there that your child is getting bullied, not only by this child, by any other child, speak up. Speak up. Because if we stay quiet, it continues. And unfortunately, so many children out there are killing themselves because they're getting bullied. So this is mainly why we want this to go out there.
Social media bullying takes a toll on all
Exactly.
children. They will not tell you. They will show you with their actions what's going on. Children do not continue to be the same after something is affecting them.
Well, Henry, I don't know if I asked you, but if I did, it doesn't hurt to ask you again. Have you gone to the police department again?
Yes.
Since you received the new threat
Yes.
suggesting that your daughter should end it all?
Yes.
Well, kids, if you are watching this, you should never end it all. You should talk to your parents. Let your parents know. You are not the one on the wrong. The ones bullying you are the ones on the wrong. Be strong. Stick in there. There is help. Your parents will find a way to resolve the matter. Right? You agree, Val?
Yes.
To conclude this, is there anything that you want to say to whoever you feel you need to say? Anyone who you spoke with, anyone that you need to speak with again? Because you need attention to your issues.
Yes.
Okay?
At this
Because
point,
these issues don't affect just your child. It's affecting many silenced children. There is a lot of children that are suffering in silence
Yes.
because they don't know how to handle this situation.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Val. Tell us what
We just want to open up the doors to whoever is going through this. This is unacceptable. Yonkers need to do better for all of their children, all of their future children. These are our future. Every single one of these children growing up are our moving forward future. And if they are being attacked and if their mental health is being destroyed, how do you expect anyone to be successful? It stops everything. It'll stop a child a child can say, okay, I want to be an artist. And because they're going through this mental health, now they don't want to do that. Now they just want to sit at home and they want to stay in the dark. They want to stay under the covers. They don't want to talk. They don't want to involve themselves with family. This is my advice to everyone is just because you may work in Yonkers or you may have a following in Yonkers and you may have some strings to pull, everyone has to see it. Our kids are victims, but there are other kids that are victims. But now let's switch the story. Now, what if it was your kid that was the victim? How would you feel if you was receiving messages and seeing this nasty stuff, and then you're trying to help the situation, and they're not helping you? And then I was told by the 4th precinct that why I don't try to contact this mother. I have no information to contact this mother, but do you think that that would be the best thing for me to do, is to go up to a mother who her daughter is threatening my daughter to take her life? I don't think that would be the best suggestion.
So the police department is telling you,
Suggested me.
was suggesting to you that you should be a law
Reaching out.
enforcement and go and reach out.
Correct.
Isn't this their job?
Correct.
Aren't they the law enforcement?
Correct.
Isn't bullying a violation of the law?
Exactly.
But we also tried, and what we were told by the police department was she was a minor, wasn't much we can do. Because the school never told us about, the school never told us about a DASA form, which
That's
we
something
did
that
not know about.
A
which
lot
is
of
something-
parents don't know about because
What is this?
it's against
I didn't-
children that is getting bullied in school. It's on the Yonkers public school site, whatever school they go to. It's all through New York City. That you can fill out that form. It is against children getting bullied, and you can make a report. At no time when I did go to the school, call the school, email the school, text them, nobody had ever told me about the DASA form until the day of the incident. The police officer asked me, "Hey, did you ever fill out a DASA form?" I said, "I don't know what that is." He explained, and the assistant principal that was standing next to me said, "Yeah, there is a DASA form online." And I asked her, "Did you ever tell me about that?" She said, "No." I said, "How many times haven't I reached out to you about this incident with this child multiple times bullying my child?" She said, "Multiple." So it was addressed multiple times.
So did you ask her at what point did you thought about telling me about this?
Yeah,
DASA
I
form?
did. I did.
You
She
know,
had
who-
other points just to stay quiet.
And who is this?
Miss Landroff from
Mrs.
Yonkers Montessori Academy. And
So
we
maybe you
prior,
need to do your job too. Maybe you need to inform the parents of your school, parents of any students of any school, what the options are, what the process is when your child is a victim of bullying. What is the responsibility of the school? What do they have to do? What's the process of the investigation to determine if your child is actually being bullied? Because sometimes that is false accusation. I don't like that child. Let me say he's bullying.
I have a text message where the teacher said, "Yes, I was made aware of the situation, and I spoke with Miss Landroff." So they were made aware of the situation, and the day that the incident happened, the security guard said, "Yes, there was rumors of them screaming in the hallway that they were looking for my child and the other child to jump her."
Rumors?
Yeah, rumors.
They don't have surveillance cameras?
In the staircase, and he did absolutely nothing about it. The only one that did protect my child was the class aide and another student that also did hear the girls in the hallway screaming that they wanted to jump our children. And when they went down the steps to be told, who was there waiting for our children? The only reason they were protected was because they were with another student and an aide. Where was that security guard to be found? Nowhere.
Who is the teacher that said that she was aware?
Miss Deagle.
Miss Deagle.
Yes.
She was aware and she communicated to the principal, vice.
The assistant principal. It
Assistant.
never made it to the principal until the day
Of
a
these-
week before the incident, because there was another incident in the bathroom where that child and her friend addressed my daughter in the bathroom and asked her if she wanted to fight. My daughter said no, because she's not a problem child. She is actually an honor roll student that got 2 honor rolls. She's not a problem child. And asked her in the bathroom, "Do you want to fight?" My daughter said no. The assistant principal called me, which his name is Mr. Machuca, made me aware of the incident, and I told him my fear is if these children were to happen to fight in the bathroom, what is going to happen if one of them slip and fall and hit their head on the sink? No parent is going to want to get a call, "I am sorry this happened." This is where things should have been taken into more serious matters, because this is a constant issue. When he spoke to me, he said, I was not aware of any of the other incidents. So these assistant principals or certain people in the school keep it to themselves so it doesn't get spread to try to sweep things underneath the rug. Because he was not aware that my child was getting bullied from December all the way to April.
In the meanwhile, you sent emails, you communicated, you made phone calls.
Yes, and she even went to the school.
Now, your daughter, for what you're saying, always played safe, no, I don't want to fight. What changed that day
As anyone, if you're constantly getting bullied, you're going to get tired. You're going to, out of fear, it was something that happened. That day we took her to the school was not to fight. We took her to the school because she was scared to go to school, and we wanted to make sure that she was not going to get jumped.
Well, I saw the video, okay, and if I'm looking at the raw video, this is what I would think. I'm not saying that is the case, okay, but I gotta look at things from different perspectives.
Of course.
I'm looking at the video and saying, they went there ready for whatever's going to happen that day. Otherwise, why would they be there? They would just send the child to school like they did any other time. But that day, they were ready.
That was the day after the girls wanted to jump our children. Every other time, it was just a bully. The day before was the day where they wanted to jump our child. So now my child does not want to go to school. I took her to make sure she did not get jumped by this child or her friends. And one thing I do want to clarify, when the child is screaming, she is not here. That had nothing to do with her friend. She was told that our children wanted to fight her by her friend, as to we asked, so where is she? So she can tell you if the girls wanted to fight you. It was never that we went there looking for any other children. We did not. We took the children to make sure they did not get jumped because they did not want to go to school, and it's not fair to our children.
Christina, but why not go to the office with your child and say, listen, we're here because of this, and we cannot longer take this situation. I don't want to get that call that you just talked about. Something happened in the bathroom, my child's
So
fine.
when we took my daughter, we were waiting for her to go in. We were going to go around to the front because it was earlier that day, so nobody was there. But things, did escalate the way that they did because this child is a minor, but talks to you as if she's an adult.
She's an adult. Valerie, any fights involving your daughter? Was your daughter ever assaulted in school or on the street by any one of these children that are hunting for her, for the lack of a better word, on social media? Have you ever came face to face with your daughter?
At the moment, they have not come face to face. The last dispute that they had, my daughter asked them, she said, if you really want to fight me, then have your parents come, because if you want to fight me, my mom is going to be there to support me. And she said, no problem, my mother would be there. So I feel like some children are bullied, but then some parents do condone this behavior. And then I don't understand how this young lady or young ladies walk around and have several issues and they get home. Like, as a parent, I look at my child when she gets home, so I would know if something happened out there. You're telling me that these girls are always in fights out here and their clothes is getting ripped and torn up, and you're not asking them how they got those boo-boo scuffle marks?
Look, I love my city. I think we have an extraordinary law enforcement that handles crime, certain type of crime, in a way that is much better than many other law enforcements around the nation. I think, in my opinion, that they are an example to many other law enforcements how they should be. But in certain things, like certain situations like bullying, I think they also need to set up an example that Yonkers is not going to allow bullying like other municipalities, other states allow. That we are not going to be the ones on newspapers saying we had a fatality because of bullying. Do your thing. Get involved. Now, this is a comment from somebody called Joyce Hernandez. I don't know if you know her. I do not know her. This is what she says. I personally know one of those young girls and know for a fact that she was being bullied for way too long. Glad that the parents are finally speaking up. This has to stop.
It does.
But another thing that has to happen is that these are not the only parents. We were supposed to have other parents here, but for whatever reason, afraid of retaliation, afraid of consequences, afraid maybe that the bullies will go after them and start arresting them now, didn't come up. Parents also need to get together and get some courage. Let this courage be contagious so you can go up there to the Board of Education and say, we need to put a stop to this.
Yes.
This cannot continue. We send our kids to school to get an education, not to be arrested. Okay? And when they are arrested, and we let you know, the Board of Education, that you will take action to protect our children.
Yep.
And sometimes that does not happen.
It doesn't.
We are going to conclude the interview, but three of you want to make the conclusion. Whatever you think you want to say, whatever you think you want to talk to, whatever. It's your show, it's your issue, our issue, because it affects all of us. Okay? Not only children get bullied, adults too.
And senior citizens.
And senior citizens. Bottom line is, bullied should not be acceptable, regardless of how old the bully is or how old the victim of the bully is. It should not be accepted. So, ladies, take this time and conclude.
I want to end it off by saying, if anybody else child has been bullied by her child, please come forward, because we are only one family, and the extra family, sorry, where we're speaking up for ourselves. Come forward. And I want to not only, like I said, we all said earlier, we don't want to only speak for our children that's getting bullied. We want to speak for everybody that's getting bullied, whether it's children, adults. Let's be the voice. Let's protect our children. Let's protect our family. And along with that, I just want to make sure that our voices are being heard, that we want a fair hearing. We want the truth to come out. And please stop the bullying. Let's just stop this. That's where I can end it with. I will continue to advocate for kids that is getting bullied, because I want something to be done. Whether it's a law, whether it's something for the parents and the children to take accountability for what their children are doing. And so I can end it with. And one more thing, at no point in that incident any adult hit that child, because that was the biggest part of the story. No one hit that child. Please, just the truth will continue to come out, is what I can end it with.
She pretty much said what I wanted to say. It's pretty much the same.
Bill?
My ending to this is, Yonkers, come together, do more for your community, become a community. There are a bunch of things that Yonkers does. I've never seen anything for anti-bullying. I've never seen any support groups for anti-bullying. I tried looking it up. There's nothing in Yonkers. Yonkers wants, now is the time. Let's make the change. Let's stop bullying.
And stop the corruption, because that's what's going on here.
And parents, very often we talk about the problems, not just these problems in general, but very few times we talk about the solutions. And many times the solutions are within ourselves. And one of the ways to find solutions for some of the problems is by getting involved. Get involved. Create that support group that Valerie just spoke about it. Go to the PTA meetings. Ask questions. Where are groups to deal with bullying in our school? What is the process? Once the report is filed, what is the next step? Is that a process in place to let the parents know that the problem's being handled? Will the parents of the bully be informed of what's going on? How does the process goes? Because sometimes have a process, but where the people involved don't know what's happening, it's pointless. Because if I file a complaint, I want to know where my complaint is. At what point? Has contact been made with the person or the parents of the kid who's harassing my kid? I want to know those answers. So public schools, City of Yonkers, address this. Bullying. We don't want to be on the next national newspaper saying that kid of Yonkers killed themselves because of bullying. We can stop that. But to stop that, we need to address it now, before it actually happens. Thank you for watching. Please leave your comment on the comment box. If you are a victim of bullying, if you have a story to tell, something to share, please comment. More people comment, more awareness we create, more involvement. Call the public schools tomorrow, Monday, and ask them, what do you do when this happens? What is the process? Yesterday is her daughter. Today is her daughter. Guess what? Tomorrow could be your daughter. Thank you for watching, and until next time.